Hey, what's up, everyone? I wanted to try something a little different today. This is a concept for something I would like to do in the future, either as a produced or a live segment, which is tentatively titled Inside Zelda. It is just a project name right now that is not final, so don't judge it on that. But I would like to talk to you today about the original Legend of Zelda, and more specifically about how it holds up and why I feel some people think it is so abstract and obtuse for newer players, because not going through the manual and included materials with the game. So we are going to be talking about this, the original NES Legend of Zelda that came out long time ago. We're like getting old. We haven't seen the back of the box. So this is the original Legend of Zelda for NES, which came out in North America in 1987. But this wasn't the first. We gotta back up a bit. I'm sorry, this isn't produced, this is live, so it's a little rough. There would be, like, normally I'd have cuts and this would be well written, but it didn't start with this actually. It actually started with this. This is how The Legend of Zelda actually began, in February of 1986. It's a Famicom disc game. Came in this package. You can see it's this clear case. When you open it, it came with this manual, which is actually pretty identical to, when you look through it, it's pretty similar to the North American manual. It's pretty close. It's got most of the same information in there. Oh, there was like one page. It has like the basic information. It has like the story pages and stuff like that. It has like on the back, walking away. Like, that's so cool. Like, touches like that. Pretty excellent stuff. So it came with the manual, and it came with the disc, which information about the A, B side, because second quest was on the other side. The disc had two sides to it, and let me crack this open for you. It opened like this, and inside you had this little sleeve protective thing. It had the box art, it had instructions on the back, the whole things not to do, don't leave it out in the sun, no water, stuff like that. And then you had actual like sleeve for the game. And this is the actual disc. So this actually goes like this. This is side B, this is second quest, and this was side A, which is the original quest. You can see 1986, made in Japan. So that was the original Famicom version, Famicom disc version, I am sorry. And then over a year later, in July of 1987, we got the NES version, which was this. There was a disc or cartridge-based version of The Legend of Zelda in Japan that came out later in the early 90s. It was supposed to come out in 92, but I believe it was delayed till 94. And this is the Famicom version of for the actual cartridge version of the Famicom of The Legend of Zelda. And if you open it up, let me know if the music is too loud, by the way. Same thing, just pretty much. It has the manual again. Nice stuff. I'll flip to a page, like pages with like information on the enemies. This one's actually a little bit more similar to the final North American NES manual. Came with that. You had the actual cartridge, which came in a plastic case. So we have like, there's the cartridge. Warning and information on the back. Came with some weird insert that I don't actually know what this says. And about power warning. Came with that, the AC power. And that all came in the nice plastic case. And there was also this insert. And if you look on the back, hey, Link's back, walking away, iconic. And this actually was very useful. And similar thing came with the North American version. Comes with a partial map of all of Hyrule, some basic enemy information, some item information, and on the reverse side, it has information about some of the dungeons and basic tips and some advanced item stuff. All of this is very important to read before you play the game, and was included with the game, so the creators intended for you to have this stuff. It was part of the story, which is now a little bit more public. Like, there's actual interviews now with it, about how Nintendo, NCL, and the Zelda development team feared The Legend of Zelda was going to be too difficult of a game, especially for Western audiences, and were really hesitant about bringing it out outside of Japan. Kind of led to the formation of the Power Hotline, subsequently Nintendo Power being more formalized, but also the strategy guide stuff. So, with the NES version, come on out. Oh no, it's not good. Sorry, just trying to get everything out. Here we go. Almost all out. Oh, I forgot about this. Sorry. So you had the box. And on the back of the box, so it says includes, well, first on the front, sorry, it says includes invaluable maps and strategic playing tips. So it gave you a notice that you might want to read everything that comes with the game, because you might need it. And on the back, I'll read this first. It says, "Welcome to the Legend of Zelda, where the only sound you'll hear is your own heart pounding as you race through forest, lakes, and mountains and dungeonous mazes." Dungeonous used as an adjective. In an attempt to restore peace to the land of Hyrule. Along the way, you'll be challenged by Tektites, Wizrobes, and an endless array of ruthless creatures who will stop at nothing to prevent you from finding the lost fragments of the Triforce of Wisdom. But don't despair. With a little luck and a lot of courage, you'll conquer your adversaries, unite the Triforce fragments, and unravel the mystery of The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda is the most challenging video game we have ever created. To help you keep up with the action, Zelda comes packed with maps of Hyrule. Use them to find your way through the overworld, leading to your lost fragments of the Triforce. Extended playing power. Zelda is programmed to remember everything you find on your journey, so you never have to start your search empty-handed. Explore the vast overworld terrain of the land of Hyrule and discover hidden treasures, and explore the mystical labyrinths of the underworld, and ward off ruthless enemies. And I think that's one thing that's, I say this a lot when I talk about the original Zelda, but not many people today who experience New Zelda, or the original Zelda for the first time, not New Zelda, don't tend to catch that in the original Zelda, overworld and underworld are actually proper terms. The overworld is Hyrule, the underworld is the labyrinth of dungeons. It's actually like an underworld. The cartoons actually depict it, I think, as the creators intended it to be viewed, if it was like more fleshed out and everything. A lot of interesting stuff about the cartoons. A lot of people don't like them, but there's a lot of basis in them that is actually kind of correct, as for as much as trolling as they get. So it also came. So it came with the what is this? Okay, so it came with an advertisement for Nintendo Power. If you wanted to subscribe to Nintendo Power, I love that ad. So here's all the options you had. So they wanted you to join up for that to get help. It came with the... Oh, where'd it go? Thanks. Came in a cartridge holder, which is not cooperating today for some reason. So it came one of these nice, cool, and plastic sleeves, like this. And if you look at the box, you might be like, wait a second. That's not right. Why is this box rectangular when this looks more almost square? Not quite. It's still rectangular, but not quite up. So almost every NES game to power up came with a little styrofoam thing underneath it like this. That's how it fit the box. So here you go. So that thing that came in both Japanese versions also came in the North American version, the Legend of Zelda Maps and Strategies. Can you and your wits alone save Zelda? This map holds useful information to help you discover the Triforce fragments and rescue Zelda. You should only use the map and strategy tips as a last resort. If you believe in yourself and your inner strength, you will conquer Ganon, spelled wrong, and return peace to the land of Hyrule. It came sealed originally and was basically like, don't use this. We really don't want you to use this, but if you're going to have a hard time, crack it open. There are secrets revealed in here that will help you along your way. So, and this might look familiar because in the Japanese version, I don't know if it was sealed in the Japanese version. It's a little bit bigger print, but now it might look familiar. It's the same thing that was in the Japanese version. It's a little tear at the bottom of mine. And on the back also had this information. So in the overworld, it gives you information about Link finds many different people in the caves. He can get many things in these places. Things are also hidden where you wouldn't expect them to be. So the game is telling you that you need to find secret entrances and that you should try looking around virtually everywhere. They give you examples of like the gambling man. They say that letter, that cryptic blue letter, that if you just play the game like, what is this? It says, show this to old lady. It says Link needs this letter to buy information later. They say listen carefully to old man's words or clues. They say you'll have to pay the woman for valuable information. See, they give you basically the information you need about the NPCs. They even warn you that some stores are more expensive than others, so you should like shop around. These nasty creatures Link bumps into in the overworld. And they give you the list of the overworld enemies. And they have tips for tackling them. They say red Tektites, red Octoroks, red Levers are carrying rubies, spelled wrong. Defeat them and get rich. It tells you about the blue enemies, blue Moblins, blue Tektites, blue Octoroks, and said these enemies may be carrying bombs. If Link needs bombs, attack them. They talk about P-Hat, and Zora's, that they're more difficult to attack. Watch their attack patterns. And then they tell you about the Guinea, the ghost enemy, telling you that you need to find its leader and attack it. So, sorry, I'll back it up. So it was all here. They gave you basically a nice rundown of all the overworld enemies, which is pretty cool. And then on the map itself, it has question marks on certain screens, basically telling you there's something up with the screen. You should maybe pay more attention to it. Look in... sorry, I'm doing like reverse camera. So the top left screen, you can see there's question marks there. But some screens are marked with actual levels, so they tell you that's kind of where you need to go. And at the bottom, they explain what items do. Because everyone's like, how do you know to burn a bush with a candle? That's like the weirdest thing ever. Well, it says at the bottom, use the candle to burn a tree. Sometimes things are hidden underneath. Use a bomb to blow up a rock. Who knows what you'll find. And something special to gain inner strength, and you can move large boulders, alluding to the power bracelet. And gain enough wisdom, and you'll know how to summon the wind and ride a tornado to the entrances of the underworld. So that's the whistle you get, the recorder. Find these hidden passages using a certain item. They allude to the stairway warping. Then they give you the entire list of items. Every single item in the game is then listed before you and says, have you gotten all of these? So it lets you know the entire inventory right away. And then they have a partial guide, well, no, actually a full guide, to level 1 and level 2. They basically tell you what is in each room, virtually. It doesn't tell you the old man in this room below the Gorilla. That one has like an old man hint. And then level 2 Moon also shows you all the stuff. And it actually tells you about the boss of each. It talks about Aquamentus, how it's difficult to fight him up close, fill up with hearts, and attack from a distance by throwing your sword. If Link has the bow and arrow, you should win easily, both of which are true. The Dongo, though, it says, to defeat it, Link must, and it just cuts off. Like, so good. But, I mean, at this point, I think they're basically teaching you, or at least the game is informing you that you should probably try stuff out. If you have successfully completed levels 1 and 2, you will need to make your own underworld maps from now on. If you notice, there's a map and compass hidden in each labyrinth. The map will help you discover the overall shape of the labyrinth. The compass will show you where the Triforce fragment is. Don't forget to look for the secret underground passages within the higher level labyrinths. In some cases, you must find those passages before you can proceed. Watch out for traps. Draw in each room as you go to keep track of things. You may need your map to guide a hasty retreat. The arrow indicates the entrance to the labyrinth. So they give you the rest of the dungeons and very beginning level stuff. Like level 3 and level 4, they show you the first few rooms and a little bit of information, and they even tell you the item you're going to get in all of them. That's like insane. Even level 9, except level 9 they don't tell you about the silver arrow, which is kind of cool. But every other dungeon, they tell you every item you're getting in there. So, I mean, this pretty much, like, should send you on your way. And then, tips for surviving in the underworld. This is great. If you can't go forward, maybe you should try a bomb and make your own door. Some rooms have hidden items which appear only after you defeated all the enemies. It actually says some rooms have hidden items which appear only after you defeated all the enemy. Singular. Don't miss finding valuable treasure. What's this? Where am I? Remember where the secret underground passages are. The larger the labyrinth, the more secret passages there are. If you don't draw a map, you're sure to get lost. Attack the weakest point. Going toe-to-toe with huge monsters is not the healthiest activity. Look for their weaknesses, attack certain parts of their bodies, and or use certain items you gain to defeat even the biggest monster. Get clues from the old man. So check out this. I think it basically tells you like what you need to do in dungeons, like the line of thinking you should have going into that. And then Impa's final words. Princess Zelda had anticipated the difficulty of finding the entrances to levels 7, 8, and 9. She gave the following clues to Impa, who passed them on to Link. The mysterious sealed entrance to the level 7 labyrinth is in the Brown Dead Forest. Go to the farthest west fountain and do something special. Use the candle to burn trees and find the hidden entrance to level 8. An old man who lives near the ocean can tell you which tree in the green forest covers the entrance. Look at this. The 2 huge rocks on Death Mountain are known by the people as Spectacle Rock. Be patient, use your learned skills and knowledge. Oh yes, some rooms in the labyrinths can only be reached through underground tunnels. Those tunnels can be discovered only by moving certain blocks, but first you must destroy all the enemies in the room. Be strong and wise, Zelda awaits your rescue. So this was optional. That you felt that like blew the lid off the game and took away. This was included, but told to you as completely optional. Was not meant to be just used by default. It was up to your discretion, which is just absolutely amazing. So this is This was included, but it wasn't the actual official manual. So it was just a maps and strategies book. What was the official manual? Which, we're going to go to the manual real quick. This will make my life easier. I have a nice thing set up, hopefully. Here we go. So, the Legend of Zelda manual. So, here's the guide. So, they have this story. And I love this claymation. This claymation world they made. If someone made that for me, that would be amazing. So, a long, long time ago, the world was in an age of chaos. In the midst of this chaos is in a little known kingdom in the land of Hyrule, a legend was being handed down from generation to generation. I'm going to read it from the actual manual because it's a little easier. The Legend of the Triforce. Golden triangles possessing mystical powers. One day an evil army attacked this peaceful little kingdom and stole the Triforce of Power. This army was led by Ganon, spelled correctly, the powerful Prince of Darkness, who sought to plunge the world into fear and darkness under his rule. Wow, used darkness too many times in one sentence. Fearing his wicked rule, Zelda, the princess of this kingdom, split up the Triforce of Wisdom into 8 fragments and hid them throughout the realm to save the last remaining Triforce from the clutches of the evil Ganon. So stop right there. I harp on this so many times because so many people don't get this. I wish people would get it. The Triforce Guardians, the bosses of the 8 dungeons in the underworld, are Triforce Guardians. They are called so because they were put there to guard the Triforce fragments that Zelda herself hid. So the bosses you defeated are actually Guardians protecting the Triforce. Otherwise, why, if they were Ganon's henchmen, why would Ganon keep them split up and sealed? He wants them collected. It's not, those aren't his minions. They're either summoned by Zelda, or Zelda was able to sneak by and put them there through her own skill or whatever. But those are not Ganon's like army or whatever. Like the individual bad guys, yes. Like I always thought the overworld monsters were Ganon's henchmen. The underworld monsters were part of this guardian force that Zelda summoned. So, but that part's speculation. But the actual bosses are not Ganon's bosses. They are put there, or they are there because of Zelda. And the Triforce was split up and hidden because of Zelda. So, sorry, tangent there. But very important. Alright, at the same time, she commanded her most trustworthy nursemaid, Impa, to secretly escape into the land and find a man, supposed to be a person, that says man, with enough courage to destroy the evil Ganon. Upon hearing this, Ganon grew angry, imprisoned the princess, and sent out a party in search of Impa. Man, this they need to remake this game with this story stuff. Braving forest and mountains, Impa fled for her life from her pursuers. As she reached the very limit of her energy, she found herself surrounded by Ganon's evil henchmen. Cornered with an exclamation mark. What could she do? But wait! All was not lost. A young lad appeared. He skillfully drove off Ganon's henchmen and saved Impa from a fate worse than death. His name was Link. During his travels, he had come across Impa and Ganon's henchmen. Impa told Link the whole story of the Princess Zelda and the evil Ganon. Burning with a sense of justice, Link resolved to save Zelda, but Ganon was a powerful opponent. He held the Triforce of Courage, and so, in order to fight off Ganon, Link had to bring the scattered 8 fragments of the Triforce of Wisdom together to rebuild the mystical triangle. If he couldn't do this, there would be no chance Link could fight his way into Death Mountain where Ganon lived. Also, a hint for the game, because you can't actually go past the second screen in level 9 without all 8 pieces of the Triforce collected. Can Link really destroy Ganon and save Princess Zelda? Only your skill can answer that question. Sorry. Good luck, and use the Triforce wisely. Look at that. So much RP right there. Like, oh gosh. And what stinks is this was only in the manual. You do not get any more than that basic little text screen in the game. You don't get any more than this. I'll bring it up in just a second. You don't get any more than this little screen that flashes right after this part. This was all the story you got. It was right here. This was it. This was all you got. That's it. That was the story. And for most people who play this game, that is all they see, sadly. You see the treasures, which is cool. And that's it. But they did do something good. I'll give them credit. At the very end of this majestic scroll, set to one of the best songs. Sorry, I just realized you're hearing the music twice there. Is that the music still going on the other thing? At the very end of this, it does tell you, please look up the manual for details. So it was telling you, yo, maybe you should go and check out the manual. You know, there might be some stuff there for you. All right, but the rest of the manual hints on how to destroy Ganon. Those of you who have had trouble playing this game, read the story below. Read carefully. It has lots of useful hints. When Impa gave Link the order to destroy Ganon, she also told him the history of the land of Hyrule and the layout of the 9 underground secret labyrinths. Zelda knew because she went there and did all that. These layouts should be somewhere in this booklet. Did you find them? Relying on what Impa had told him, Link has to somehow make his way to Death Mountain. Link just might be able to find out where the mountain is by carefully studying where and when the monsters appear. The forest and mountains, there are several caves. In the forest and mountains, there are several caves, and in these caves, there live merchants who will sell Link useful items. As well as buying things here, Link can get his hands on other things that he can't get elsewhere. Big enemies often have weak points. Try using various items of treasure to attack them in a number of ways. That way, you're bound to hit upon the right combination. Look at this. It tells you that you're supposed to experiment with your items. That basically every boss will be weak to an item that you have, if not your sword. Lots of amazing things happen in the springs Link finds here and there. The fairies will give Link a whole new supply of life hearts. These aren't the only secrets to be found. Hint, level 7 entrance. The entrances to the underground labyrinths are hidden all over the place. There are also some entrances that are really hard to find. Nevertheless, somewhere you'll be able to find hints on how to solve these riddles, and once Link's found in Labyrinth, he'll always get an item of treasure. So it's telling you there's always a treasure or an item in a dungeon, so be sure to explore. Some of the nasties in the Labyrinth are controlled by a ringleader. If Link finds this ringleader and does away with him first, the other enemies will disappear. Very, very useful tip. Carry weapons such as boomerangs, etc. to match the enemy. This way Link can proceed with the fight more effectively. The skill to switch over quickly to the treasure select screen, remember the sub screen, and swiftly take out treasures is really important. If you got this skill, Link will be able to win through in the end. The labyrinth level display is important. It shows Link the way. If Link does not fight in the right level order, he might meet a miserable end at the end of the labyrinth. Don't rush forward too fast, it's dangerous. So even though Zelda lets you go almost anywhere in the beginning of the game and enter almost any dungeon right away, are saying you might not want to do that. Like, this is your precious Dark Souls. This is like right here. It's like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Think. If things are too hard, you should probably turn around. And remember in the booklet we showed earlier, the more advanced one, it said you should be drawing maps because if you get too far in, you should back out. And you should have an escape route because these later dungeons get really complex. You're getting bored by details. Oh man, go. If you ever complain that Zelda NES is too weird, abstract, hard, confusing, and you have not read all of this, you have no room to complain. Your complaints are invalid. You do not have the right to complain. Lots of riddles are hidden in the underground labyrinths. Once Link's found the map and the compass, he can go forward, checking each of the passageways one by one. Walk around and find all the rooms. For this, Link will have to increase his possessions a lot. Yeah, that leg is jacked. In the underground labyrinths, Link will come across some doors that will close behind him once he's passed through them. Yet there's always a way of opening them and escaping. Even if Link's closed in on all sides, he's not allowed to give up. Try anything to get out. That brings up one troll point against Zelda. There are, I believe, 2 rooms in level 9. If you did not get the magic key in level 8, and you are out of keys, you are screwed. There is no escape. There are, I believe, there are 2 of them. It might just be 1, but I thought there were 2. There are 2 trap rooms that you are screwed. The only way out is if you have a second controller plugged in and can do the start sub-menu screen, up select to reset the level. Well, you'll start back at the entrance of the level, but with only 3 hearts. Or reset the game. Link's going to have a difficult time trying to destroy Ganon. He's real mean. But even Ganon has his weak point. Some friendly character in the game is sure to tell Link about it. Look at that. Link has destroyed Ganon and has managed to rescue Princess Zelda. Now that he's got a hold of the 2 Triforces, he once again goes off on his travels, making his way towards countries unknown. Who knows what the future holds for Link? Look at that. Referencing what could come next. In the labyrinths, Link will come across some kind-hearted people who will help him out. Listen well to what they say and discover enemies' weak points. So then you get, after all that story and lore and stuff, you get the basics, how to start the game, saving, retrying, continuing, playing with a friend. Look at this! Take turns. At the end of your game, select save or retry and press start. Your friend can start a game using a different Link character. To start a different game, always store the game in memory and turn off the power supply to the unit. They're trying to make this seem like there's like multiplayer. You got the basic controls. You got the map. So it says like sub-screen, main. So they explain everything. They explain this is the sub-screen. This is the main screen. They explain what's going on here. They explain the overworld and the underworld. So look at this. See that? They're explaining all that. They're talking about the sword. They even talk about the 3 different swords you can get and their power level. This white sword's twice as powerful as this default sword. Magical sword is twice as powerful as white sword. Talking about the treasures, how the shield works. And then it talks about the items and what they do. Here we go. For each bomb he picks up, Link gets 4 bombs. Link can carry at most 8 bombs at the beginning of the game. You can't have any more than this number, so use them sparingly. Look at this. Stop right there! They're telling you about the boomerang. Look at that. It can also stop most of the enemy in their tracks if he throws the boomerang on target. The magical boomerang flies further than the wooden. Look at this. The blue ring reduces damage inflicted by the enemy by half, and the red ring reduces damage to 1/4. Look at that. The power bracelet. Like, they explain everything here. They even point out about the silver arrows. And then they're like, here, the fragments of Triforce are hidden in many labyrinth levels. Whirlwind. The whistle is the most mysterious of all treasures in the game. Blow the whistle and it will let out a strange sound. People say it opens paths for Link. Try blowing and see what happens. Look at that. That's so good. Talks about more overworld stuff. Talks about the enemies. Look at the artwork for the enemies. Oh, so good. This is what they were supposed to look like. Like, can I just remake Zelda 1 with this art style, please? Oh. Caves are not the only places you can see. Look at that. Look at this. Oh, Link just might be able to pass through the pathways he hasn't been able to get through by using something else. Get the gist. Look at that. Legends has it that there are caves in every possible place above ground. Link is bound to them so long as he has power enough. Bound to find them. So it's basically telling you almost every screen in this game has a secret or a visible entrance to somewhere else. Ah, it's so good. Talks about walking around in a labyrinth, lets you fill in the map, talks about how the doors work, talks about the names of the dungeons, and that's a clue to their shape. Look at this, the underground enemies. Yeah, the only thing is wrong, Pole's voice, a ghost with big ears and a weak point. He hates loud noise. Only works in the Famicom versions with the microphone. Doesn't work in the North American. Please use arrows. Ah. Even talks about Gleeok and Goma and Digdogger and Aquamenus. Look, it gives you all the bosses right here. A giant Dodongo is a giant rhinoceros, by the way. It's not. It was not meant to be like a lizard thing. Dodongo was a rhinoceros. So, yeah, he's not, although that looks like a triceratops, so I guess maybe dinosaur-like, but he wasn't a lizard. Manhandle, a large man-eating flower, which to this day they keep making him like a flower, or it like a flower. It's pretty mean, so watch out. Aquamenus is a type of dragon that some call a unicorn. Digdogger is a big sea urchin. In spite of their big bodies, they shrivel up when attacked. Goma is a crab, not a spider. That's also important. And Gleeok is a huge dragon that has 2 to 4 heads that spits out beams. And then Bubble, the spirit of the dead. That is so good. Oh, these descriptions are so good. And now the fight to the death with Ganon. Link has collected 8 fragments and completed the Triforce of Wisdom. Now he's ready to fight Ganon in the depths of Death Mountain. What is Ganon? What's Ganon like? Nobody knows. Nobody has lived to tell the tale. Yo, this is too good. Oh man. Link's no match for Ganon and his might. Whatever attack Link uses, Ganon just repels him. But if Link can only use the magical sword and some other object, he'll manage to topple the mighty Ganon. Other object? What's that? Oh man, there's so much. And in here, they basically tell you to get to level 1. They point out where level 2 is. That's just basic stuff, but treasure trove. Treasure trove. The manual of the Legend of Zelda. The contents. And here's your leg shot. He's got leg. Knows how to use it. There you go. Link's just like, oh no. Actually, if you look at the artwork, sorry to get a little inappropriate for 5 seconds. The shadow of Ganon right here looks like he's exposing himself to Link. And Link's got his hands up like, oh my god, Ganon, what are you doing? It's just like, sorry. That's pretty amazing. Sorry. Oh, wow. It's pretty good. Secret Ganons. What is Ganon? Oh man, this is having so many more meanings right now, the wording of all of this. Sorry. Let's play some. Let's play some of this game. Get Good. I think Get Good was directed at Bossman. Oh, I'm not hearing anything. There we go. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. See? Helpful people in caves giving you weapons. And if you follow the map that was given to us, you could go right to level 1. Sure, let's play this in order. Like, as intended by the manual. So the manual actually tells you how to get to level 1. Look at all that dinero dropping down. See, blue enemies can sometimes drop a bomb. Hey, Octorok, let's meet me here. In we go. So level 1. Manual doesn't tell you about this. The good old open the door glitch. So go exploring. So they introduce you to some of like the most basic enemies. So you got Keese there, these flying bats. Immediately defeating all of them, you're rewarded with a key. So there you go. Hey, defeating enemies will reveal treasures. Then this room right here reveals, hey, sometimes an enemy specifically is carrying an item of interest, so you'll just have to defeat that one enemy. So in the first 2 rooms of actually doing stuff, you were taught, hey, kill all the enemies, you might get an item. Kill a specific enemy, you might get an item. Oh, thank you, Bossman. Sorry about that. Music killed. So you're like, oh, let me kill all the enemies in here. Maybe I'll get something for that. Oh, no. So then you're taught disappointment. Hey, look. Sometimes you don't get anything for killing all the enemies. Feels bad, man. Oh, but now I'm rewarded with an item. And if you were fighting those items... If you were fighting those enemies, sorry, you might have used a bomb by accident. Or intentionally. And, oh, whoops. The game told me I could bomb through walls. Okay, we'll go that way in a second. Let's keep going. Let's pretend we didn't go that way. We didn't bomb the wall. Alright, so some rooms have items just lying around. Oh, you can get hit by an enemy and it takes away a little bit of life. Cool. And then you would have had to go left. And now you were taught that, oh, you need a key to go through the door. Well, you had plenty of opportunities to get keys. If you didn't, you have to go back. Also, shutter doors. It closed behind you, and the only way to open it was to kill all the enemies. So, once again, you're still like, hey, kill everything because it's beneficial. This is strange. Why is there a block here? And now this next screen has just taught you pushing blocks open stuff as well. And they might read to clue rooms like this. Eastmost Peninsula is the secret. That really helps. No, it really does. So this first level is just like laying on everything for you, like right at the start. Like every single screen basically has just taught you like what you are going to expect in pretty much every dungeon in terms of trying to find secrets. And look at this. They always have multiple paths, so excluding the bomb entrance from there, you could either go right through a locked door or up. Ooh, Staphos. Enemies get harder the further you get in. I blew that. No pun intended. Once again, rewarded for killing enemies. This room teaches you about traps and secret passages. Basically, you have everything downloaded now. You're ready to play Zelda. Armed with the manual and doing the first dungeon, you are now in capable hands. The game should be a breeze. And remember, back here, you had 2 ways to go. And remember, like, Miyamoto actually gave a speech about how they wanted people to draw maps for this game on graph paper and share them with their friends. He wanted this game to be a social experience, meant to be played with friends because they wanted you to solve everything together, basically. By the way, this wall is bombable, but you don't need to do it. Place the bomb. So you hear the noise indicating there's a boss nearby. You'll find out in just a second. Innocent looking key, but troll wall masters. He will take you back to the beginning of the level if you're caught in their clutches. And if you read the thing, if your hearts are full, Link can throw swords. Get to a distance away from Aquamentus and then throw your sword at him without much difficulty. And this is pretty much how every single kid in the world learned to fight that guy. Pro tip, when you enter, you're supposed to hug here to dodge, go here, drop a bomb, 2 sword slashes, he's dead. And you are now rewarded. Voila. Good stuff. Alright. How do you manually save? Let's create or a store point. There we go. And there you go. Just wanted to show you it in practice. There was one other thing. That was not a good idea. There was one other thing. I closed the dumb video. Whoops. Sorry, I just want to get this back playing. This is it. This is what I was recording. Yep. Alright. The last thing. So if that secret insert that was included, that was crack open at your discretion, or the manual wasn't enough, Nintendo did release this. Something called Tips and Tactics. And it's called an instruction book. Look, this was not included. You had to get this separately. And this basically was one of the first strategy guides from Nintendo. What is the leg shot? Is that still a Ganon leg shot? So they go a little bit more. It has a nice, cleaner version of that claymation high roll. That's pretty good. In a small country in the region of Hyrule, there existed a golden triangle known as Triforce, which possessed mysterious powers. One day, the power of Triforce was stolen by Ganon, the evil one, who was conspiring to rule the world with darkness and terror. Princess Zelda, afraid of the evil ruler, divided the remaining wisdom of Triforce into 8 pieces and hid them in various places. In the meantime, she helped her nurse Impa escape in order to find a brave hero to overthrow Ganon. This writing is very... double exclamation mark. Ganon learned of the scheme and became angry. He captured the princess and sent pursuers after Impa. Escape, Impa! Ganon's pursuers are behind you! Look at this. RP, son. Impa tried desperately to escape from Ganon's pursuers, but at last she couldn't run anymore and was surrounded by her pursuers. Was this the end for Impa? Suddenly, a young man appeared. He skillfully confused the pursuers and saved, so that not fought off. He confused them. The young man's name is Link. Link heard the whole story from Impa and decided to save Princess Zelda. However, Ganon possessed the power of Triforce. In order to overthrow Ganon, Link must find and assemble all 8 missing pieces of wisdom to complete the Wisdom of Triforce. This is where our hero Link's search for the Triforce begins. Can Link overthrow Ganon and save the princess? You are Link in this legend. You are the hero Link. This game's called The Legend of Zelda, but you are Link. Please understand. In the hero of this game, I don't think they've said enough times, the hero of this game, Link, is a brave youth who must fight against the evil Ganon alone. Look at this sentence. This is a beautiful sentence. The hero of this game, Link, is a brave youth who must fight against the evil of Ganon all alone. Look at that. No gender right there. That's what they should go with right there. That's all you need. Link's adventure develops both in the overworld, a beautiful natural place with woods, lakes, and mountains, and in the underworld, a place much more complex than that which lies above. Ganon possesses the power of Triforce. In order to overthrow Ganon, you have to complete the Wisdom of Triforce with 8 hidden pieces. These pieces have been hidden somewhere in the underworld mazes. Can Link possibly invade Death Mountain to overthrow Ganon with the help of the completed Wisdom of Triforce? Man, this is so good. Princess Zelda's fate is unknown. In this game, you are the hero Link. I don't think it's clear yet who the hero is. You must enter the world of Link. Let the fabulous adventure begin. Oh, God. This is amazing. Please hire who wrote this back. I need more of this. Many enemies stand between you and a successful rescue. Put aside your fears and march on. As you go forward, you will solve many mysteries. You are the one who can conquer the evil Ganon. And it's just regular shield, magic. Fight enemies with swords. Oh, really? Link does not possess any weapon at the beginning. In order to attack enemies, he must obtain a weapon. If you use your sword, you can cause damage to almost all of your enemies. There are 3 kinds of swords. The regular sword, not wooden sword, regular sword, the white sword, and the magical sword, not the master sword. The white sword has twice the power of the regular sword. The magical sword, the most powerful sword of all, is 4 times as powerful as the regular sword. You can obtain the regular sword rather easily, but the white and magical swords are difficult to obtain. Use your shield to block the attack from your enemies. You can block the attack from your enemies with a shield when Link is not attacking. However, the shield does not protect from a body crash. So be a body crash. Oh, an enemy hitting you. Okay, that is... I've never seen that term before. Body crash. So instead of hit detection, I gotta start saying body crash. That body crash was bad. Alright. Body crash. When you run into when a hit detection occurs between you and another object, it's body crashing. It is a good idea to keep in mind when to use your sword and when you should use your shield. There are 2 kinds of shields. Link has a regular shield at the beginning, but somehow you need to obtain a magical shield. Body crash, man. Body crash. Alright. Link has to fight against Ganon all by himself. However, there are people who are not enemies of Link. Some people in the overworld caves help Link. If you see those people, you can get wonderful information from them and can also obtain weapons. Little old men and ladies and merchants live in the caves. Some caves are visible, but some are not because they are hidden. You have to look for these invisible caves. Some people in the underworld mazes can help Link too. From them, you can gather information about the weaknesses of your enemies and where treasure is hidden. Fairies who can turn white hearts back to red are also your strong allies. Use fairies to help in battle, with your enemies. Link can buy a lot of things from a merchant by picking up what he wants. Be careful not to miss chances because there are things that you can only get from a merchant. Princess Zelda. She is held captive in a room in death. Earlier it said, time out. Princess Zelda's fate is unknown. Down here. She is held captive in a room in Death Mountain as a result of Ganon's anger since she hit him. The wisdom of Triforce. Unless you beat Ganon, you can't save the princess. Fate unknown. She's hidden in a room. Reveal. They probably are like, kids won't read this far. The little old men. Be grateful for these people who give you information. Water of life, heart container, and weapons. They are also in the underworld mazes. You should be careful, however, because some little old men are stingy. Little old ladies. They provide information and sell water of life. Money, also known as rupees, and other items are necessary to buy water of life. Money is also necessary to buy information. If you beat your enemies and save fairies that they have captured, these fairies can turn white hearts back into red for you. This is your ID to use when you need to buy certain items. The letter to a little old lady. Magical clocks. Explaining all this. Tells you about 205 yellow rupees are the maximum that Link can possess. Yeah, compasses directs you to the Triforce. Not the boss, the Triforce. People get that wrong all the time. The magic wand. Water of life. Also seen in Resident Evil 7. Pour it all over your hands. Yeah, I know Brad's stream's coming up. I'm almost done. This mostly goes over the same information. Just a little bit more different, a lot more in-depth information about the story of the enemies, like their context. Like, moblins are actually small ogres with bulldog faces. Not faces. More powerful than an Octorok. Zoras. These are swamp devils that inhabit the water, with just its face showing. What other ones? They live in the underworld and eat your life energy. Lionels, these are rascally devils that defeat those who come close to Death Mountain. Man, so good. Ropes, fire and keys. Wallmaster! Gorillas are small ogres. Staphos are skeletons. Wizrobes, Polzois. Still says their weakness is loud noises. like troublesome tube-like monsters. Evil Knight, Centipede. Mummy Men. Gibdos attack you with a body crash. Oh, man. And, yeah. Same. This is mostly the same information. Yeah, it's most of the stuff. How to use the map. Clues about the overworld. Yeah, a lot of secrets revealed here. I think it goes into depth of all the dungeons, right? I just want to scroll down. Like, it basically shows you almost all the overworld secrets in this one. And then it has like a, yeah, it basically goes into the underworld. There's a section on the underworld that literally shows you every single screen secret, the layout. Like, this is basically strategy guide. You're stuck. Here you go. Oh, but like it stops. If it, like level 7. Whoa! You finally cleared the ultra difficult level 6. Look at that. They don't show you level 7. Can you hack your way through the fierce attack beam of the stone statues? Level 8 gives you a few little clues about level 8. Level 9, they show you Ganon. They show you, alas, the final showdown with the evil Ganon. Go for it! Hey, look, the fate of Princess Zelda. Is she alive or dead? Look at this! Hey, you guys were... Hey, she could have been dead or alive. Well, I don't know about what's going on this screen, but she looks kind of alive to me. Oh, Coltane44, thank you for subscribing. You are a subscriber now. Once you destroyed Ganon, go even deeper into the maze, to a room way in the back. There you will find the captured Princess Zelda. But wait! Between you and the princess, a wall of flames is blocking your way. If you continue, you'll be burned to a crisp. Before you can rescue the Princess Zelda, you must put out the fire, but how? Just beat it with your sword. They're like, screw it. We're not gonna, like, this. I wonder how many people got stumped at this and we're like, maybe they had like 1/2 heart left. They're like, oh shit, one more hit's gonna kill me. What do I do? When your sword loses its beam. Got all these tips. Alright, I think this will be the end right here. With the wisdom of Triforce, our good hero Link has defeated the evil demon Ganon and rescued Princess Zelda. Thanks to Link's bravery, Ganon's scheme to rule the world in terror and darkness is demolished, and peace is restored to the fair land of Hyrule. Yet, Link's battles do not hear. He takes up the 2 pieces of the Triforce in his hand and sets off on another perilous journey. This time, he is heading for a new destination, an unknown country. What kind of terrible hardships await him there? Yo, where's the sequel? Where is this? Yo, what? 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 Where's the sequel? I've been lied to. Zelda 2 takes place in Hyrule. Where's this new one? Nintendo. 30 years ago, you made this promise. Where is it? Where is the sequel? What is this, Nintendo? The mystery. This is too much for the powers of sleuthing. The 30-year cliffhanger that has still not been resolved. What happened between Zelda 1 and 2? There were a few months that happened between Zelda 1 and 2. Where is this untold story? Yo. And it links back. The end. Alright. That's gonna wrap it up for Inside Zelda. Read the manuals. Before you complain about the original Zelda, try reading the stuff that came with the game. If you don't have them, maybe you should try and go online. All of these are available as PDFs, as you saw. Just a Google search. Google search Zelda Manual PDF or Zelda NES Documents PDF. You'll probably get all those. Or you could just buy the original NES version. Even if you bought it digitally, you can buy the stuff online. You don't need an NES to play it. I prefer you play it on NES, but just have the documents with you to read. Just something to have. It's good stuff. So, thanks for checking this out. And see if I do more of these. See if these will become actual produced videos or keep doing these live. Kind of would like these to be a little bit more produced, but this is the easiest way to just throw this out there. I wanted to do this. I've been like sitting on this for a while. I'm like, I just want to do this. I don't edit anymore. I haven't edited in like 15 years, probably more. Even then, I wasn't a good editor. I like sucked. It was like high school. I was like putting together like stupid like music to videos, and that was like about it. I don't really do editing. I'm like no good at it. So yeah, I'm not. Can't really put together my own videos. So this seemed like the only way I could just do this for you. So let me know some feedback. Throw me feedback on Twitter. Would be the best place. At MB Damiani. That will be the most visible place I'll see this stuff. So thanks for watching, and Brad's up next with some Kingdom Hearts. See you all around.
recognize this music? Well, duh. Why? 'Cause it's the motherfucking Legend of Zelda. Here we go now, I'm an old man and this cave is my home. Take this, it's dangerous to go alone. Now journey across a spooky land. You hold in your hand a sword that shoots laser beams. Won't you feel like a man, dressed up like Peter Pan, on a quest greater than your dreams, then your dreams, then your dreams. Flee me, demon, demon, go Link. From here to over there, you'll find Ganon's land. Come on, it's your destiny. Trust the hero inside. But if you're terrified, purchase the strategy guide from me. $14 also tax. Here you go now, Zelda is helpless and distraught, but mostly she's hot. So hurry, just steady thy course. Go find that Triforce, then take it by force, and maybe she'll touch your wang, touch your wang, touch your thing, ring-a-ding-a-ling, go Link. Get your man on, seek out Ganon, go invade his barricade, stick your blade in, save the maid, and you just might get It's dangerous to go alone.